everyone, welcome to Draw Bird Club. I'm Corey, and joining me this week is Ashley, or Ash. She's an illustrator from, I'm going to say, out east, because I can do that because I live in the West Coast. Everything is east of here. You still with us, Ash?
Oh, yes, sorry. Is this my time? Is this when I talk?
Well,
I
I
thought you were doing like an intro thing. I didn't want to interrupt.
I mean, I could get right into the business with a presentation about our topic for today.
Well, I'm following your lead here. So,
Alrighty.
yeah,
Today on Draw Birds Club.
incredible.
Birds. Look at all these chickens. The problem with birds is there's a lot of them, and is hard to narrow down what bird to draw. Um, Sorry, are you getting a lot of this yard work just started outside? Anyways, I had to narrow down what to draw, which is difficult. So, what I did is grab a local spotting list, which just narrowed it down to like 300 some birds instead of hundreds of thousands of birds. And then I read the list and picked the ones that sounded the coolest, or also the ones that I'm most familiar with. So, my short list is Anna's hummingbird, the dark-eyed junco, parasitic jaeger, barred owl, and brant. I'm gonna be pulling up like reference for myself, but that's it. I've got my papers, and you've got your Procreate.
I do.
You do. It is a very cute bird. I'm just gonna. I said it before, but we were offline, so I have to say it
Yeah,
again.
thank you. I was so close to getting it to work, but it's okay. That's just the life of the technical difficulties of stream stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, hi everyone. Thank you. Thanks for coming and joining us. If you don't know about me and my work, I'm a freelance illustrator who has been doing this for full time for 6 years now. Um, I'm Canadian, grew up here between BC and Edmonton. I went to OCAD in Toronto
Mm-hmm.
for illustration degree and did pretty good there. And then after that, I finally got to kick my horrible part time Starbucks job after a little bit, and the rest is history, I guess. I mean, freelancing is always a struggle, but I get by. And I've been able to do a lot of really good work over the years with clients that I really like for projects that I really care about. Done stuff for like the Times, Scientific American, HarperCollins, Riot Games, ArenaNet, and just a lot of work. But those are, you got to throw out the big names so people know I've done
You're
things. Because
legit.
yeah,
Actually, I would encourage people to go check out like your Twitter and the stuff you posted there,
yeah.
because
Twitter's easy, or my website
I
at
was scrolling back through
ashmackenzie.com.
it, and you've got that big phoenix that
Mm-hmm.
is lovely, and I I love it. But then I was scrolling down and I saw like it actually printed as a book cover, and I was
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like,
yeah. The
oh
book
my
just came out last
god!
week.
So it's Iron Widow, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely
and
check
just
it
the
out.
the wraparound on that is just like,
That was such a puzzle to figure out because it needed to work in every, like, with the front cover on its own, it needs to work as a composition, and then it also needs to work as it wraps around the entire book, as well as like end flaps for like a hardcover version. So, but it looks, yeah, no, seeing it in person is always I love books. I was a huge book kid. So like anytime I see my work on a book cover, I'm like my heart flutters just a little bit. I'm like, I did it. If only it paid more.
Mm. So, what is illustration?
What is illustration
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
What is it?
Well, illustration generally, I think the biggest separation between like straight art and illustration is that illustration usually has like a specific purpose or intent that to represent some form of other media. So illustration usually accompanies written word or like an article or it's like an advertisement. It's
Okay.
something that's tied to something else. And in my opinion, like I always think the best illustration is kind of very collaborative and doesn't it doesn't it's like a symbiotic relationship almost like it will improve the text and also the text will improve the illustration as you kind of go through whatever it's referencing and things like that. So that's my big illustration ideas. But sometimes you also just want to make nice pictures of cool things and make them look good. So that's the other half of illustration. And I mean that's also just generally stuff. Like it's not. I specialize mostly in editorial and publishing, so that definitely applies to that style of illustration. Whereas like with concept art and things like that, you're still working with someone on a concept and an idea, and it's a lot of back and forth, but it's less with written and more with an idea or a representation or like the history of a place or world building and stuff. Yeah, illustration is functional is a good way to put it too. Usually has some use, which
Thank,
is something that I like about it.
thank you for actually answering the the very like vague and high level question.
I
It's
mean,
just like
it's something I think about a lot.
doing
What
art
am I
in
doing?
high school. I guess it's what my teachers were like. Oh, you could get into illustration after I made like a snowman on a computer. And I was like, what's the difference between that and just doing art? Like, because in my head, it's, I don't know, it's like a one to one with graphic design, but then you see professional illustrators doing work that's just like fully rendered,
Hmm.
painterly, like lush,
Hmm.
which is it's different because I like assume that graphic design or something's just going to be like a flat simplified
Hmm.
form.
Well, and I mean, there's definitely illustration that works with flat, simplified forms as
Yeah.
well, and is a lot more graphic, often due to time constraints or stylistic constraints. Most editorial turnarounds are like a week from sketch to final, so you don't really have a lot of time
That's
to fully render like a beautiful illustrated environment with all these people beautifully crafted and stuff. So it's
1 week's
so
very short.
1 week is very short, yeah. So appreciate when people love to like trash on the really like graphic editorial illustrations, but it's entirely just like smart. It's smart. Don't paint like me and do editorial. It's really bad. It's a really bad idea. You're gonna be stressed out all the time.
So we're learning a lot here today.
Yes. But the nice thing about editorial is like it's usually a lot more conceptual, so you can mess around with a lot of different ideas and more or less representative work. And you get a lot of rights because it doesn't pay as much and it's very fast. So you can usually keep a lot of the rights to relicense images later on, so you can get some extra money from that or sell them
Mm,
as prints and
yeah.
things like that. So you keep ownership, whereas in a lot of other fields of illustration, those rights become a lot more
Mm-hmm.
tenuous. The companies get a lot more handsy, and they like to take a lot more for not all that much more money. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Especially if you're doing like, I guess, with video games, if you're doing promo art that's supposed to be incorporated into like a bunch of their marketing push, or if you're
Yes.
doing like comic books.
Oh, comics are the worst. Oh my God. Every time I've gotten anything for comics, I'm like, you're offering to pay me this little money and you want everything? I really just don't understand how people do it. And I've seen many comic artists have the same sentiments, so I don't think it's just like me as an outsider looking in. It's a really rough industry, and support your local comic artists, please. They are just breaking their bodies for their work and their art, and not even getting paid well for it.
So on to birds.
Yeah, I guess we can do the bird
We can
thing.
do the bird thing. Do you have a specific like workflow for birds? I I get the impression that you love drawing birds.
I do. They're just like my comfy place. So when I don't know what to draw, I always just it's just what I do. It's like it's my go-to, and it's like the comfy place because I started drawing with drawing birds way back, so it's just comfortable. But I guess it just depends on what you're trying to do. Usually, with any picture, if I'm like have an idea that I want to make, the first push is gathering reference. I have
Right.
a bunch over here. This is just like my general bird reference in my little pure ref thing. We got a lot of stuff here.
Do you have a lot
But
of stuff
if I
there?
have like a specific idea in mind, I'll look for something that's like matches up a little closer to what I have in my head. And that just starts to get like the visuals a little closer, because oftentimes sometimes I'll do like an initial sketch just like very fast, trying to figure out like what I want.
Right.
But I usually do better when I have some kind of idea and some reference in mind to help me figure it out. But yeah, and it's usually just sketches, a lot of sketches until I lock into something, and then when I find something that intrigues me, then that's what I usually stay and keep going and developing further and further.
Hmm.
Where's my good pencil? I love this pencil brush. Also, look, it's got such a nice texture.
Uh,
This is the whole reason why I work in Procreate. Yeah.
I started using Clip Studio when I started doing this stream,
Mhm.
and yeah, definitely the big thing going for it is textured tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can definitely, I guess, get them or make them in Photoshop, but it just
Mhm.
doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
It's hard to it's because like pencils and stuff are very tactile.
Yeah. And then like just like the texture of the paper is also like plays in with how your pencil work will come together. And you don't really have that's what I would need the digital art programs to start getting on board with, is some kind of like underlying texture, because
Yeah.
that's something I miss a lot from working traditionally, and it just does so much to unify like a piece. Like even if you're using all these different brushes, if you're working on the same like field, I guess, canvas, paper, it all ties together.
Platform. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's still something that is harder to do unless you're like really consciously thinking of it while you're working on a picture, because there's so many different brushes in digital work, and sometimes they can be like super smooth, like clean digital looking brushes, and like the more textured
Mm-hmm.
um, more traditional feel. Oh, my cat's yelling at me.
Aha! Add that to the cat count, everybody.
Yeah,
I guess I have to ask then, are you left or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Owns a cat, but right-handed.
Is
Hmm.
that a unusual trait?
No, we've
Yeah.
had like a surprising number of lefties
Yeah.
around. But I think the vast majority of people I've had have cats.
Hmm. Yeah, I do know a lot of left-handed folk who draw something. Something's there, but I'm not one of them. I've always been a right hand.
But did you try to swap?
I always thought it would be cool to like dual hand.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and like I've switched a lot of general not like functions, just general activities to my left hand. Like I try and scroll with my phone with my left. Like I use my mouse with my left hand. Just because I've messed up my hand so badly working over the years on my right side that there were days where like I just every single ounce of energy that I had left in my right hand needed to go towards work. So I like even just using the mouse was extra strain.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I
That
switched
is a
to left.
reality of I guess drawing and illustration, doing
Yeah,
art. A lot of
be
people
careful.
end up with repetitive strain injuries.
Yeah, don't do that to your bodies. We need them to last a lot longer than a single job, unfortunately.
Do you
Or
do
actually, no,
any
that's probably unfortunate. Yeah.
do you do any like specific stretches or exercises now?
Since I have tried to do more hand stretching, but in general, I'm just been in the past few months, I've been really working on exercising regularly, getting a good amount of sleep, and doing more like upper body and arm exercises, which has helped a lot with just general endurance and also just being more conscious of how much time I'm spending drawing at any time.
Oh yeah, like taking breaks.
Yeah,
All right, good.
yeah, and being more efficient when I'm actually using that time. And I also changed like all the settings on everything. That's not recent. When things started to get awful, I changed like all my pen settings are like super light, so I barely need to touch the screen to uh, to make a mark, which is nice. Don't mess with. Sometimes it like feels better. It feels. I used to have it at a higher pressure sensitivity because it felt more like working traditionally,
Yeah.
which I liked because that was my roots. And then I realized I was just breaking my body for no reason, so I switched it all back. And there's just like other little like shortcut things, like maybe you don't have to paint out that entire square. You can just do an outline on it or use the lasso tool and paint bucket fill it. That would be easier and less strain, you know? But yeah, birds.
Yeah, birds.
Birds are easy. Well, they're actually not, but I think they're easy.
I
As someone who didn't draw people until like junior high, birds are like hell yeah, and I was like, no people ever.
do you draw like cars and things, like, or is
Oh
it
well,
just
not if I can help it, basically. But like my general approach is like we all have things that we're like drawn to make based on our interests and what we like and like what things are we find engaging visually. But if you can harness that ability to really learn how to make anything into a picture, you can kind of start to be able to draw anything eventually, as long as you have enough visual reference of what it looks like. A little trickier when you're going from the mind,
mm,
but like yeah, like all the work I put into like learning like fundamentals and observational drawing has paid off a lot before when people throw me work that is completely not in my wheelhouse and I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll help out with this big picture book that's in almost entirely backgrounds, even though there is not a single piece in my portfolio that has a background in it. I'm on board. And you just start painting based off of reference and sketches and build off from there. So as long as you have like a relative understanding of form and how to translate that into like a 2D space, you can start to do anything at like a vaguely competent level. Obviously, the things that you like to draw will always kind of shine through as like your standouts.
Right.
But as long as you pay attention, look at things, you can find a way to make anything work, I think. Though there's still just some nightmare. I mean, this is called what, the Can't Draw Horses Club?
Yes.
Yes, horses still have some very tricky things. They have things placed in very strange places that you wouldn't really think about. But I mean, also understanding how we assume things look,
Right.
and then like contrasting that with reference helps a lot for understanding how you see things and how you translate that into a painting or a drawing. One of my favorite exercises when I was in, I guess, like high school was I'd draw something that I was just like, I don't know, from a picture or in the room. And then I'd like overlay it
Mm-hmm.
somehow, like tracing or just with Photoshop. And then you can see like, oh, and now I see where I'm going horribly wrong. Same with like the mirror flip.
Oh
That's
yeah.
another popular trick, but it just helps you start to understand how you see things in particular and where you might be adjusting things mentally and whether or not you want to keep those tendencies or not, because sometimes that's also part of like your own visual voice and things, and that's neat. Sometimes the mistakes you make can be just as much a part of your style as the things you're doing intentionally. They're not really mistakes, they're just how you make things.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's definitely a useful paradigm shift. Because
Yeah.
everyone's used to like, I don't know, being told they're doing something wrong and feeling like they've been punished for trying and failing.
Hmm.
Or at least it feels like a failure even though it's not, like you're not actually even getting scored on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a big problem with that. I'm like a super perfectionist,
Mm.
and like if something seems even a little off and it still looks okay, but it doesn't look like what I'm trying to make it look like, I'm just start losing my mind slowly, and it takes so long to fix sometimes.
Just like actually identifying why it looks incorrect.
Yes, yes, and like a lot of figuring out, learning how to figure that out is a whole other puzzle too. But there's a lot of little tricks like that. Again, the overlaying, the tracing, uh, mirror flip, really good. And also, yeah, again, like knowing your own tendencies so you can kind of counteract them. For me, I know for the longest time, again, since I didn't draw people for a very long time, and when I learned how to draw people, it's because I learned I wanted to draw anime because anime was finally happening and I was so on board. It was so much cooler than regular people drawing, and I was ready. But the tragedy of learning how to draw people with anime is that you never learn how to draw noses even a little bit.
Because they're just little, they're just like a little half tick. They're like,
Yeah, just like so easy, so simple, so succinct,
unless they're standing
really
to the
smart.
side and then you get like the
Yeah,
ski jump.
Noses are a nightmare. So
noses
yeah,
don't
that
look
is.
anything like anime noses.
It's so smart to draw like that though. Forget noses. Anime artists know where it's at.
Well, that's the thing about like the cheating because you have a really quick turnaround.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like we don't need a nose.
yeah. But yeah, for the longest time, even when I was trying people more realistically and from observation, my no the noses would just be in wildly weird places, or I had a really bad problem with long face. Like the nose would always be much too long for the face. And it would drop the entire, like you'd have this it was almost like horse face, I guess, if you think about it. Like there's just this huge
Just
gap between the nose and the eyes, when generally it's not all that far between the mouth and the eyes, the nose. But it just felt somehow that the nose was never long enough when I put it that close. So that is my legacy now. Yes, the tragedy of learning to draw anime is never learning to draw noses.
I really have to know what anime you started with because
Oh boy,
everyone and their dog was Dragon Ball Z when I was.
yeah, I was a little. Well, I didn't watch a lot of Dragon Ball. It was always on too late. It was on after Inuyasha. I watched a lot of Inuyasha.
I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna Inuyasha shame. Uh,
Hey, the pickings were slim, okay? We just watched what we could see. I mean, you probably also experiencing the youth, everything struggling with YTV, horrible unsequenced episodes, and you're just clinging. I don't know. That was always my struggle, because they did. I feel like they never played things in order, because in North American cartoons don't really generally have overarching storylines, especially in those days. So so hard. Escaflowne was a big one for me.
oh God, there were
Hmm.
so many episodes of Escaflowne that I missed.
Yeah, yeah. I had to finally like watch it a few years ago, because I was like, I love that anime, and I only knew like a third of anything that happened, because it was impossible
Yeah, same with
to see
Gundam Wing.
everything
I
at
was just
once.
like,
Hmm.
yay, it's an episode with my favorite mech. And then that was
Yeah,
it.
I think Pokemon counts as an anime for sure, and like Digimon
Oh yeah.
was a big one.
And then we got like
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Beyblade, Metabots.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I watched everything and rented VHSs from the store to watch
yeah.
Slayers.
Good times. But yeah, that's I 100% am on board with, people learning how to draw things through anime, especially people, because people are so complicated. People are so hard to draw. There's just so many different
Yeah.
aspects of people that are complicated, and then you throw a face on top of that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. You ever just look at an armpit? Like,
Yeah.
what's
There's
going on there?
so many muscles in like the arms, the shoulders, and the hips to
If you,
enable us to like do all these different
yeah,
motions. But
you
when you're
draw.
trying to like figure out how to translate that into an actual drawing, it's a nightmare.
It's
So
like,
anime is very helpful for that. But then when you're actually trying to do the actual thing, that's when you get stumped.
hmm
So a little balance, if you are interested in more representational drawing, definitely
I
goes a
was just
long
gonna
way,
do
and it'll make your
little
anime better
example of
too.
how the body works. See, the stick that the head goes on is actually attached to these arm bits,
Hmm.
and then the arm bits are actually attached to the torso. Uh,
uh,
it's it's
I
really
love,
horrifying.
yes. And what part goes over? Because yeah, especially with the shoulder, if you're looking at the shoulder, and then you're like, wait, what goes here, and then what goes
There's just
here,
like
and then what
a
goes here,
ball.
and then what goes here, and then there's like a pec over here, and
It's
then
like
like
it's
collarbone over
round, and
here,
then there's
and
like
then
a waist.
shoulder,
That's where stuff goes. I don't know.
ribs.
It's yeah. Oh, you're drawing a real thing. Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I was like, do I remember how this works? It's been a while. It's been a minute since I just like was like a person.
So with like the Escaflowne and whatnot, do you ever do angels? Like winged humans?
I mean, I've done a few. Done. There's like a drawing that I did a long time ago that still pops up now and then. People like it. I'm gonna make a little pin out of it. But
Oh,
it's like of a little person like sitting over here. It's like a little person, and then they got wings for arms. So it's like they're just sitting. It's like a person like this, and then the arm is like a wing over here, kind of. Hey,
oh, okay. I see ya.
and then it goes like this. Wing. It looks better in the real thing, I swear. Beautiful.
Yeah, no, toe to tip. That's the illustration you spent
Yeah.
time on. Yep.
That's my how I make my money. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. No. But yeah, sometimes I mean like that's like the cool thing about learning how to draw birds and wings and stuff is like you can I mean learning how to draw any creatures, you can start integrating those features into other stuff. And who doesn't love to stick a wing on a thing? It's just like the perfect addition to almost anything, I think. So
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, is there like a specific flavor of wing, like a wing you use as reference for
I think well, I mean,
non-birds?
I know for in general, I feel like most people kind of go with like the big, like raptor style wings because they got those really like distinct pinions
Yeah.
at the very end that like spread out like fingers. I'm kind of doing one here, but I mean, realistically, it's like it's nice to think about the wing based on like what kind of flying the thing would be doing. Like because that's how nature works. Bird wings are shaped based on the type of flying a bird does. Like sparrows have very like rounded wings for those tight turns in small bushes and places, whereas the raptors have the big wings for flying and coasting and soaring in the high highs, going fast.
God, something that I wasn't really aware of until I moved here is that blue herons are the worst at flying.
Are they really bad? They always look
They
so graceful, though.
they just have to constantly flap to
Oh, yeah.
stay up in the air.
Because
Just
they got those
like
long legs.
you're
It's all
you're
that
working
ballast.
so hard.
Yeah, I can see
They
that.
just like I don't know, just got their pointy wing thing and then the
Mhm.
swoopy and then their big stupid body and long legs and then they've just got these wings that are just like
Yes.
they're just giving her and
Oh, I
it's
know. Yeah,
it's
I love looking at them fly, though. They look so cool when they're flying. They have such a good shape, like with the neck,
yeah, the neck's cool, the
and
front
then
part, but then it's so sad. Like I'm used to like waterfowl who can at least like I don't know, take a break. Yeah, Molly points out there's a blue heron in Seattle that lurks on the penguin feeding. It just like there's a rock in the Seattle Wildlife Zoo. It's that zoo, right? And it's just covered in evidence of this was a heron, even if the heron is not there. It's just
oh
like
no.
the heron goes to that place and steals all
Hmm.
the fish from the penguins, but they're endangered, so you can't like tell it to shove off.
Yeah.
And the herons here have done some nasty business to some trees.
Oh
It's
yeah. They're loud too. I know people don't like them because they're pretty loud, especially. And I know there was like a lot of complaints in Vancouver for a long time with the herons in Stanley Park
mm-hmm.
squawking when they were making babies.
They're
But they gotta make babies. They gotta keep existing. So, you know.
vocally here they compete with the peacocks, which
Oh no, peacocks are also so loud.
and seagulls. So there's just like there's screaming and awkward like ha.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. Just like all the worst bird sounds too, in a lot of ways.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of birds, I guess earlier this summer, my partner, his dad, um, does like a yearly or bi-yearly volunteer work for like the Canadian government and like birding surveys.
Okay.
So it's usually either bird banding, which wasn't this time. So that's like going out with
Putting
like
the
those
little
nets up and yeah, like putting them in those little, they put them in those little film canisters, the little ones, so they can just,
I
they stick
didn't
the
know
top in a
that.
little film canister. Yeah. The
I'm used
legs
to
are
like
sticking out and then they just put the little band on the little leg so it doesn't like, they don't panic and try and bite you, you know? And they just send them on their way. Uh,
because I've seen like the little nets that they catch the like the tiny birds in, but I'm
mhm.
mostly used to seeing like the raptors all tucked into their towel
Yeah,
blankies, just like
don't no film canister is the size for those ones,
no, but
unfortunately. Yeah.
the catcher's like perfect. Just stick the
It's the
bird in
perfect
the
bird
thing.
size.
It's like the rat squeeze bag.
Yes, yes. Oh, but the one that he didn't, and we went to go help him with one because just to give some assistance. So like very far up in northern Alberta, is just like driving specific stretches of the area and listening to what birds songs are heard.
Okay.
And so obviously you have to get up at dawn basically to go
Yes.
do this because that is when they're the most active
It's
and
when they
it's breeding
scream
season.
tower.
So you
Yeah.
know
Mm-hmm.
obviously it's really loud, but it was super cool because I honestly haven't been that far up north before. So there's these like crazy big aspen forests and that early there's like no one around and it's just all of this symphony of bird song echoing through the trees
Okay.
and it's just incredible. It was really cool. And there's like there's one especially in like the marshier areas
It
that
gets real swampy in northern
oh
Alberta.
so
Yeah.
swampy. So swampy. But there was this one that God, what was it called? I'm gonna blank now. It's a water bird. It makes like a really weird like whoa 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 sound because it's
Oh.
not like actually the bird that's making the sound, but it's its wings and tail feathers that are vibrating when it's flying. So it makes like these little dips and things when it's flying. So it makes the little bird call, but with its wings instead. I thought that was neat.
Yeah. I wish I remembered what that was.
It's a neat
It's
one.
how
It'll
far
come
up
to
did you
me
go? Because I
tomorrow. Yeah.
like are we talking like Fort Mac North or like Helmet North?
Oh God, I probably between Edmonton and Fort Mac, I think.
Okay.
It was like 2 hours out of the city
Oh,
north.
that
Two or
yeah.
three? Two
That's
or three
nothing.
hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, probably not north north, but
Mm-hmm.
north for me.
You say north and it means something.
Sorry. uh, yeah, loons have a really nice call too.
It's spooky.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever. I don't know if I've ever heard one IRL.
I've heard them around
That would
Stanley
be
Park.
nice. Really?
Pretty sure.
Wow. I missed out then.
Can move on to a new bird.
New bird.
New bird. Who dis? So I said Anna's hummingbird, the dark-eyed junco, which is
Ooh.
finch, I think.
They're smaller, right?
Yeah. They get into it with the sparrows here.
Oh.
And they make an adorable noise. It sounds like they're spitting.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like,
Oh, that's good.
and then they make their wings, and then they'll do the slap, and then the sparrows will slap them back.
Oh, bird fights are very good.
So there's about 4 or 5 hummingbirds that live
Oh,
right here,
yeah.
and their fights are the best.
That would be incredible to see. I've only ever seen like a handful of hummingbirds, and I always just think they're giant bees, and I'm like, oh no. And then I
Slap.
see them, and I'm like, oh okay, no, it's okay. It's just a hummingbird. It's the biggest bees, but they're so cool to see hanging out, and I can't even imagine them fighting. They just seem so delicate that they would just break apart into 1,000 tiny pieces.
They're aggressive and territorial, and they sound like the squirrel scolding noise,
Yeah.
and they make a noise that's similar to that, and they sound like,
Mhm.
I don't know, like a dial-up modem. I cannot even imitate the noise they make. It's just like,
Incredible. Yeah, just rapid fire.
yep. And then their
Yeah.
head's like always on a swivel when they land, and
Hmm.
they like go vertical, just like, and of course they sound like large bees when they fly.
Hmm. Hmm. Giant bees
Giant
fill you with
bees.
terror.
Just always complaining. All right. Dark-eyed junco. I'll show kind of what these look like. Ah, the middle one is,
Oh, they're so cute.
yeah.
Oh, look at those little dark heads. Oh,
Yeah.
and the little pink beak is just perfection. But see, like that's like the nice thing. Like those birds are so easy in a lot of ways. Like probably not to get down to the specifics. Obviously, once you get into that and you're like birding and things, it's like, wait, what is the difference between this songbird and that songbird? And then someone's like, that's not that songbird. You're a terrible naturalist
Oh
artist
no.
person. But like generally it's like you can just really easily be like shapes and then like just like bird.
Oh, I can. Is it a sparrow?
This is really rough.
Maybe song sparrow.
And they got the little legs.
Yeah. There we go. So yeah, like this is the song sparrow, and this is what the baby juncos look like.
Oh.
So it's like, which of these two small fluffies?
Yeah, that's why, I just draw birds for fun. No, we don't need to
We
be.
don't need to identify them.
Yeah, that's for the bird people. Bird people can do
Yeah, no. The only thing the juncos have going for them is the specific like spitting noise they make.
that. Oh, that's very good though. Birds.
Just throwing that out there.
Birds. That's a good question. I'm sure there's an answer to that. How lyrebirds can find each other when they just imitate other birds. Maybe it's like a performance, and they're like, oh, this one's very good. And somehow they just know that it's a lyrebird, but they're like, no, but this one, they're extremely good at being something else. Now it's time.
To
I
get
choose
get
you.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So impressed.
Like I don't think like celebrity impressionists get the same pull probably, but who knows? Maybe for the right
You
people.
think lyrebirds just really turned on by celebrity impersonators? They're just like,
No.
you sound exactly like a lawnmower. That's amazing. I love lawnmowers.
Oh boy. Yeah, maybe it's like the type of sounds they choose. Maybe it's like a choice. Oh, that was an excellent selection, like a curated playlist of
Oh, their mixtape.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's like laser sounds, typewriter. Mm.
The choices,
Or
it
maybe it's like
matters.
it's like speaking like a romance language or like Russian or something.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh, your accent. It's so foreign.
Definitely. Oh, it's very good.
Bird feet are weird.
Ah, bird feet. They'll always still get me off more often than not, but
So inconsistent about like the number of toes and which way they face.
yes. Sometimes it's like 2 and 2. Sometimes it's 3 and 1. Sometimes I feel like they're all over the place. It's funny. They make like if you can figure out like how to do good bird feet though, they also translate into pretty great dragon feet and lizard feet too. So they like multi-purpose once you can start to figure out their shapes.
Get little T-Rex hands. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's the more you learn about bird anatomy, the worse it gets.
It's just, you just gotta keep it simple, like it gets wild. It's like anything when you get too caught up in the details, but you gotta like take a step back and be like, what am I really seeing here? Not like all of the endless wrinkles and folds and how weird all their knobs are, but
Definitely
if you can just
don't
be
look at
like,
their mouths, don't look at their
yeah,
ears.
yes, yeah, ears are a whole other puzzle.
They could like you don't even have to think about nictitating membranes.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
That's an extra eyelid.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about
Don't
those.
think about it.
Yeah, yeah. That's that's for the hardcore. I took a really good uh, biology course in university that was anatomy for artists, human anatomy. This
Mm-hmm.
one, but it was all about a lot of it was biological, like how joints and muscles function and getting deep into like the names of all the muscle groups and all of that stuff, and but also how that can help, how understanding that can help you improve your drawing of people and stuff, and like mapping the bones uh, onto like a photo of a person, so that you know, like, oh, so that's why that part is sticking out, like elbows, like there's only certain parts of the elbow bone that you can actually see as markers
Uh-huh.
on the flesh, and arm bones have wild ways of twisting. So once you understand like how to see the markers, you can start to get a better idea of what's going on internally, and then that can like lead into other interesting discoveries. But yeah, that was super cool, and we got to go see cadavers and see how they worked with all their joints and things. Joints are the real kicker, I think, especially with drawing people and like drawing figures, I should say, like full people,
Right.
because knees and hips and elbows and hands, it's all just joints meeting up.
Yeah, we should get rid of them. You know,
Yeah.
just keep it simple.
It would be much less artistically intriguing. I feel like visually people would look pretty. I mean, there's a Minecraft people have a style, and they have no real joints aside from the shoulders and the hips. So,
They're
you
like
know, I
Lego minifigs.
yes, yes. But there's like a nice thing to like have an arm that like folds over, and then like a wrist over here and the shoulder and like the back. I don't know. Figures are really intriguing when you get into how all the shapes play together. It's just, I think, like any picture, when you start to have, it's nice to draw one part. And then you're like, oh, hell yeah, I nailed that. And then you're like, but what about the rest? And then it just gets more and more complicated as you add in more and more of these shapes and parts that interact with each other, and it staggers on top into this giant mechanism, and then you just hope that it all stays working together.
Have you taken any like animal anatomy courses or?
I never took an animal anatomy course, but that's also because I spent my entire childhood drawing animals. I wanted to be like Robert Bateman before. That was like after I wanted to be an ornithologist, which was the first thing that I wanted to be as a kid. And then I was like, but I really like making pictures, and this guy makes really cool wildlife paintings. So then I wanted to be like a hardcore wildlife painter like Robert Bateman. And then I discovered fantasy stuff, and then I never cared as much about wildlife painting, but it's still really satisfying to me to draw animals and things like that. There's some really good books that I had growing up for understanding animal forms, and also just staring at them a lot helps.
I remember, other than like my grandmother being really into birding and always talking about mergansers,
Oh,
uh,
mergansers are real good though.
we had like the National Geographic info cards.
Oh yeah, yeah, those are
Those are
fun.
great.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think we are at our first break.
Damn, time's flying.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to just take a moment to check to see if there's anyone I need to shout out. No, we're good. So we'll be back in about 5. All right?
Yeah.
All right. See you soon. Hey, everybody. We're back.
Hello.
Yeah. Me, Corey, Ashley, the bird drawer.
I haven't actually drawn any full birds. Well, I've been sketching some birds here.
I've been sketching some birds,
Yeah.
some shoulders, and some pins. Resketching some of your past art.
It's an adventure. Who knows where this will go?
I'm sitting here drawing a Junko.
Oh, they're so good.
One of my major, I guess, pain points so far in the show, not today specifically, but
Mm.
in general, is just proportions and just
Oh, it's always
it's
the thing.
always the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's been my major weak spot.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah, that's all like a forever struggle, I feel. And it's again, it comes back to like that whole the relationships thing. So you'll like nail, say like with the Junko, you nail the head and you're like, oh yeah, this head's perfect. And then you draw the body and you're like, is the body lining up with how good that head is now though? And then you do the feet and you're like, oh no, but now are the feet the right in comparison to the head and the body? And then it's just like it's that cascading scale of all these new things interacting with other things and making art so hard. Unnecessary. Kind of necessary, but annoying. It's frustrating, difficult.
mhm.
We'll get rid-
Let's just imagine no feet. Birds don't have feet.
True, that does make them easier.
Yeah.
Truly, honestly, almost anything. There are not very many things that have easy feet to draw. Especially people feet. And shoes, don't even get me started on shoes. Shoes
Actually,
are a nightmare.
isn't there a mythological bird that doesn't have feet?
I mean,
It's supposed to never land.
oh, probably. Does the rock never land?
I think the rock lands for nesting and
Mm.
oh, uh, we were growing a mushroom, and so Ian's bringing a mushroom to show you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is half of it.
Wow.
We got
Half
the
of
killer
it?
Yeah,
oyster mushrooms.
it's an elm oyster,
Oh, that's gonna be a
and
feast.
yeah, it grew real fast and decided to have babies today. So it's time to eat.
How are you gonna make it?
I don't know.
What's your
Ian said he would
choice with
make like
oysters?
a risotto,
Mm-hmm,
and then he
mm-hmm.
also wants to make burgers and grill the mushroom for burgers.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love how versatile mushrooms are and delicious.
I have not been a mushroom fan, uh, except for specifically the button mushrooms in the Tim Hortons chili.
Yes, okay, okay.
Yeah, and I went to Japan and had like a set meal that had enoki, the really long
Oh, yeah,
stringy
Noki's really
ones,
nice.
and it was just like these are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first good mushroom I had in my life. But then that
Oh my
was followed
goodness.
up by slimy mushrooms hiding in my miso soup, which was
Oh,
not a fun discovery to have during like the worst hangover of my life because it was we were there for our wedding, and so there were like
oh,
4
okay.
after parties. Got very very drunk.
Hmm.
Uh, you can buy like 2-gallon bottles of liquor in Japan, 4
Wow.
gallons even
They
of shochu.
know
Yeah,
how to party.
yeah, and yeah, just slimy mushrooms. God, I didn't even know there were slimy mushrooms, and Now I do, and I fear them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's usually the texture that makes people avoid mushrooms for the most part, I find.
Yeah, I think it was like the Campbell's cream of mushroom soup that started me on my journey of hating mushrooms because they would just
That's
be
very
like
understandable. That is not a
gr-
good start.
gross mushroom chunks.
Not the ideal dish to highlight the many facets of mushrooms.
Yeah, I also didn't even like pepper as a kid, so I couldn't even like
Like cooked pepper?
black
Oh, like
pepper.
or just black pepper.
Yeah,
Oh no, but ever oh no.
yeah. So
Oh no.
now I eat pepper on all sorts of things, and if I get
Yeah.
like a mushroom soup, I can be like, let's go getting pepper. Uh,
Was it just the heat of it or like the bite?
yeah,
Like
I think it was the bite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Pepper. I can't. Everything has pepper.
Oh, man, which can no, the slimy mushrooms are a specific regional thing in
Oh,
Akita.
were they like the wood, like the ear
No,
mushroom?
they were like a little mushroom, but they had like snot. I will look these up.
Oh, they're like very specifically cultivated for their sliminess, I'm guessing.
What is this? Is this the right thing? Ugh, ugh. Images. This is, yep. All right. So these are Namiko mushrooms. They're specifically slimy.
Oh, interesting. What was the name of them again?
Namiko.
Namiko. Oh, and slimy.
Mm-hmm.
And they just grow like that? Or are they like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. Interesting. I'm so, I'm so sorry.
I wonder if I can find an image of one in like a miso soup, just so you
Mhm,
get
get the full
the
experience.
real
Yeah,
like
understand.
God, I don't know. Is this tasty looking? I don't know. Some people like it.
I mean, I love miso, so like, I'm like, I'd try it.
But what
I,
if your miso was suddenly thick in spots?
I'll try anything once, probably, and then maybe I'll be filled with regret afterwards. But at least I tried.
Yes. That's what we're all about here at Can't Draw Horses Club. Try anything once. Like drawing birds.
Yes, please, at least once. They're so nice.
I want flight feathers. Just little pokey, long.
Take off.
Mm-hmm.
Time to go.
I blame Fly Away Home, the movie.
Oh, a classic.
Yeah, making me, a child, believe that I could have a self-powered flying machine and just hang out with the geese.
Ah, the dream. Why not share the wealth of geese
Yes, that is the
affection?
Bird Mom one.
Yeah, our bones might need to get hollowed out. That would be
Okay.
problematic.
I need that for making my blood.
Yeah. We need that.
Ooh, ooh. That's worse than like the Wolverine getting adamantium fused to your skeleton. It's like, no, we're gonna ream out all your bones. Just, just
Just
gotta
hollow
save
them out
some
a
weight.
little.
It's like, can't you just give me really big wings just to offset it?
Even bigger. Yes. Can't go wrong. No such thing as too big.
Like if I had the wingspan of a 747, I'm sure I could lift several tons.
Yeah, planes are pretty heavy. I think that could work. I see no flaws in this plan.
I can just, I don't know, shave some of my hair off for aerodynamics, uh, or wear one of those shark skin suits that reduce
Mm,
drag.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Then
Now we're thinking.
I don't need to have my bones emptied. Is my theory.
Time to try it out. Make this happen.
Today on a very dangerous episode of Can't Draw Horses Club.
I don't know how birds. I mean, they must have some other blood creating system. Maybe they have marrow in other places, just not in their wings.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe.
know. Like some birds eat bones. I think they just work on a different level than we do.
They're just that good.
They're just that good.
Because I know there's like marrow in certain chicken bones.
Yeah, I've
So it's
definitely
it's gotta be
eaten
like specific.
bird blood production.
We're getting scientific now.
Not all bones have the same amount of marrow.
Oh, it all makes sense.
Pneumatic bones that are hollow and communicate with the bird's air sac system only
Hmm.
have. I didn't know that the hollow bones were connected to the air sac.
I guess it I didn't know either, but it makes there's a logic to that. I can understand it.
Oh. So they're not hollow like straws.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, the bones just have stuff. Some gaps that are empty and some gaps that have marrow.
The more you know.
Hmm.
Marinate the prey with bone marrow. Oh my goodness. The stuff of nightmares.
Wait, do Three Musketeers bars have bubbles in them, or is that just
It's like they're not like bubbly like
like an
arrow
arrow
bars,
bars?
but they're definitely it's like a fluffy kind of like an aerated. It feels like it's like a oh, what is like I honestly can't think of like another equivalent because it has such like a unique texture. Like if you oh, not even like a coffee crisp that was like soft. I guess if you had like toffee, but it wasn't like sticky, it was just like a sponge instead, but like
Oh,
super
that's
soft.
a thing.
Yeah.
Sponge toffee.
But like sponge toffee is like crunchy and like Three Musketeers is like a pillow and like super squish.
So like
Like a
sponge
dense
nougat.
meringue.
A dense meringue.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good job, chat. Oh yeah, kind of like a mousse, but like chewier than a mousse, like a proper mousse. Not the real life mousse, like the dessert style.
Chewy like a real life moose.
No, no. Don't chew on real life mousse unless they're not real. Well, no, they should be real, but they should not be alive when you chew on them. They will probably mess you up.
Yeah, I don't usually approach large mammals that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's wise.
Ooh, I have a brown brush pen. I should use that.
Ooh,
Get get brown.
some color in there.
Yeah, color.
So sorry, I draw so light. Sometimes it's hard to see on the stream, so I hope it's not too bad.
I see feathers.
Excellent.
All right. Search function. Parasitic Jaeger. Next bard. So this is a bird that looks basically like a seagull. It's a
Oh, a stylish seagull though.
yeah, fancy seagull.
Oh, very classy. Smoky.
Mm-hmm.
Little gradation. Lovely atmosphere.
They're known as Arctic skuas in Europe.
Really?
That's what this bird website says.
Wow. Schools are so mean.
I think I
That bird doesn't look as mean as what I know of skuas.
skuas.
So like, like why are they getting that bad rap? Yeah, maybe it's just putting on a good face.
I
It's really just a jerk.
maybe all birds with a high protein diet are jerks.
Could be, could be.
Because like, seagulls have two modes. The one where they want your French fries, and the other where they poop on you.
Yes.
There is no in between.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe skuas aren't as nice as say a bird that won't steal your fries, but it's a living.
They gotta live. They gotta get by.
And I mean, if I saw one of these on the street, I would probably attribute any of its bad behavior to seagulls.
Yes. The ultimate scapegoat.
A seagull did it.
Mm-hmm. I always remember there's this one time when I was in Vancouver and the tide was really low, like really far out. So a lot of the seafloor life was out and exposed.
Okay.
And the seagulls were just having a party with these starfish. And I could just see them swallowing them whole, and you could see the points of the starfish sticking out of their necks as they were swallowing them. I was like, that does not seem safe at all. I didn't see any die, but I can't imagine that is always successful. Like, that's just one thing needs to go wrong, something gets stuck, and it's all over.
have seen a picture of a seagull eating starfish.
Oh yeah. Did it have the points? Because I
Mhm.
just mind blowing. How and why? Just, there must be a better way.
I've also seen like a pelican eat a duck.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
pelicans are. I saw a Twitter thread of pelicans trying to eat. Oh, just a whole variety of things. Oh no, this is nightmare fuel. Oh, yeah, there was a whole Twitter thread of pelicans trying to eat things that pelicans shouldn't eat. And it was very good.
hmm.
A puzzle?
Kind of, a little enamored with the seagull eating the starfish.
A slight sidetrack,
Yeah.
perhaps. Yeah. Sometimes, inspiration strikes in the strangest places.
Beautiful.
Perfection. Oh,
What a
just
tip.
having such a good time. Just go
Choking on a starfish.
feast.
I just can't imagine starfish tasting very good.
Yeah, like
I didn't know people
I feel
eat
like they're
them.
like 90% cartilage, probably.
Right?
Like there can't be much to them, I imagine. But then I've never seen like a starfish. ske- I don't know. Do they have skeletons?
Yeah, they kinda. It's mostly around their
Isn't it?
mouth, stomach
Yeah,
area. They
yeah.
have
Like,
like the sea urchin looking middle bit.
so maybe they are just pure muscle and we just don't know. We're missing out. I don't think that's the case, but trying to give the seagulls the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know. As far as bird stupidity goes, like, I, they're a trash bird. They eat trash,
Mhm,
and maybe starfish are garbage.
mhm. But they're the seagulls' garbage, so they enjoy them.
Or the seagull is just like, hey, I see something moving. That must be food.
Yes. Delicious.
Oh, it's not fitting. It's not fitting in my mouth. Oh.
In for penny, in for pound.
Yeah, I mean, I guess once you start,
I don't think there's any going back. After a certain point, at least.
I have to look this up. I have to know.
Getting into it.
Why seagull eats starfish?
I mean, also good question because I know there are certain animals that literally cannot throw up. I don't know if seagulls are one of them, but maybe they just can't. Yeah, I didn't know about horses. I know rats can't.
It's also like horses don't breathe through their mouth,
What? Only through their noses?
as far as I know.
Huh.
Which
I guess
is,
that makes sense when you think about well, why never. These are the mysteries of nature.
that the the answers I'm finding just raise more questions, and some of those questions are, why seagull try to eat dog? Oh
Oh
no. Do
no.
seagulls eat squirrels? Yep. Yep, they do. Okay.
I think they're just not very discriminating,
Yeah.
perhaps. Yeah, anything goes,
It's not even
including
if it
starfish.
fits, I sits. It's like,
Yes.
it could possibly fit, so let's try.
It might be edible. Only one way to find out.
What if seagull eats raccoon? I don't know. I don't want.
I think anything larger than seagull might become problematic.
I could
Perhaps
see like
it tries to eat seagull, and that is the ultimate payback.
just a seagull and a raccoon locked in a death struggle.
Who will eat who first? No.
Raccoon has its little hands strangling.
Oh, jeez. He's going some places. My goodness. I don't miss raccoons. They're very cute, but they sound like demons in the night.
I think we have some locally. I'm pretty sure,
Mhm.
and I don't remember what they sound like.
They are everywhere in Toronto.
Hmm.
And just like in the city. Like I feel like BC has a lot of raccoons. But they tend to like, stick to like the wilder areas, I feel, in my general understanding. Whereas like the Toronto raccoons were like genuine trash bandits that just like did not care where they were. They were always around. And yeah, I remember like the first night we were sleeping there, and it was the summers, and Toronto summers are hot as hell and just like a 90% humidity. So all the windows were open, and we were so scared to sleep because we could not understand the sounds that were coming through the windows from like the street outside and the back alley. We were like, what is happening? They sound like demons.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Noted. If I hear a demon, I'll just
Yeah,
be
it might be a
like,
raccoon. Hopefully just raccoon.
probably just raccoon, you know?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
if the walls aren't bleeding in my apartment, then
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
probably fine.
Probably. But if it's a demon raccoon, then you might. It's like a whole other problem.
Hmm. Then you need like an exorcist or pest control.
Mm, both.
You need
I don't know how many people specialize in both, though.
an ordained pest control specialist.
Yes. The only person for the job. A seagull is a very good high school mascot.
Are they? I mean, I guess they'll eat all of the competition.
I think it's again, as Earthnon said, most honest high school mascot.
I mean, in any Canadian city, you could say seagulls are
Yeah,
a representation of local uh, feeling, I guess.
I could never understand why they were like here in the middle of Alberta, this incredibly landlocked place. Like, there's some water, but would you rather be
It's
on the
really
ocean?
fun when there's flooding and then they finally get some water to hang out on.
Why are they here? They just lost.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's that they
Oh,
can fly really far and they're
yeah.
a scavenger.
I guess less competition. Because who would want to be here?
I don't know why they like to hang out at the mall so much.
I guess there's a lot of trash. Probably fitting.
Just be like, haha, someone threw out the sweet hot topic t-shirt.
Just what I've been looking for. Tries to eat it.
Just imagine walking around and having a seagull drop a t-shirt on you because it tried to eat it. So you just
Yes.
get like this really, I don't know, fishy smelling t-shirt. On one hand, it's free.
But at what cost? At what cost?
Do the seagulls in Alberta fill the ecological niche of rats?
That could
No,
be. No?
I don't think so. I
Why not? If we don't have rats, someone's got to be the trash animal.
You think the seagulls are just like burrowing into your walls
The
and
squirrels definitely don't do it because the squirrels here are
no.
too small and too scrappy. There isn't maybe not even the rabbits. The rabbits are pretty chill. They still just mostly eat plants.
Mm-hmm.
Like magpies, maybe. They're
Yeah.
also just too fancy looking. Like they look too, even though they're not, they look too put together to
You think
fill the
magpies aren't
niche.
fancy?
Well, they're kind of awful birds, so maybe the supervillain fancy style. Like, I don't want to give them too much credit because they are just the worst to other creatures.
I have seen
Yeah,
one rip apart a pigeon. It
yeah, no,
was
they are so vicious.
it was a fun
Was it
time.
an alive pigeon or a dead
It
pigeon?
was a dead pigeon.
Okay,
I
a little
think it
better.
got hit by a car. It was actually on White Ave.
Mm-hmm. That tracks.
Yeah.
I don't think it takes much for them to want to go after alive ones either. No,
Whereas like the crows
they're
and
spicy.
ravens are so much more passive. They like just wait for mushrooms to grow in your yard and then
Delicious mushrooms.
oh, welcome raiders. Admiral Mamo and one other.
Hey, welcome. We're drawing birds.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just birds. No horror here.
Nothing strange.
Bird go fast.
Yeah, I think if seagulls had cheeks, they would definitely like be able to carry a lot more.
Have you not seen them cram their gullet full? I'm like
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure
like
some of the starfish pictures I was looking at had.
you had multiple? Oh no. That is truly tempting fate.
All right, now I'm moving on to the barred owl, which I used to think was like bardic
Mm-hmm,
owl,
mm-hmm. That
like
would track.
D&D class bard. Uh, no, it's not that kind of bard. It's like it
Oh,
has
it's
bars.
like barred. Yeah, like bars. Yeah, yeah, because it has those little
Yeah,
mm, lines, rings,
bars.
pattern,
Yeah.
patterned feathers. Are those the ones that are endangered, or is it? I
No,
mean, there's
they're
probably.
trash tier, as far as I know. Let's check
Well, you
Wikipedia.
don't have to. I feel like it's not like endangered and trash tier. Those. Hopefully, those aren't the two categories.
Well, the reference image I was using was part of an article that was talking about culling them in Pittsburgh. So I
Oh,
don't
maybe
think
too. I
they're.
guess they think there's too many.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
First described by Philadelphia naturalist. Blah, blah, blah. Powerful vocalist. I'm gonna
Ooh,
listen to this noise and then try to recreate it for you.
is it a powerful hoot?
It's like, "Woohoo, woohoo."
Even better. I was listening to a talk with Terrell Whitlatch,
I'm not familiar with them.
Lightbox. She's one of the creature designers for like Star Wars and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's been pretty prolific and done a lot of pretty well known creature designs. Uh, Very good at like combining like natural traits to make it seem like real, like it could
Mm-hmm.
be like realistically adapted by like using natural features and we see in nature and other animals around. Uh, but she was talking about like owl wings,
Yeah, they're
and
fancy.
yeah, they're fancy. They've got like softer feathers, like with like spaces on like the so like if there's like a feather, you know, like the little poofy end.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like the feather side, and then like this is like the fat feather side, and then there's like the side that leads into the wind, kind of the thinner side, like an airplane.
Yeah.
Yet the owls have like very soft and like spaced parts on the front of this, apparently different than other feathers, and that's why they can fly silently.
Yeah. They've got just so much cushioning and like it disrupts the air a little
Mhm.
differently than like the cutting edge of like a speed bird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nature, it's cool.
I was on YouTube the other day watching a video where they were kind of trying to test and figure out why owls were really quiet, and they laid out just a table covered in feathers, I think, like soft
Mhm.
downy feathers or something, or like pillow stuffing. And they had like a kestrel fly over, and they took footage to like see the disturbance of the air,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then a snowy owl. And the even though the owl was just like a foot or two above the surface, there was just like no disturbance below.
Wow.
Whereas like the hawk flying was just like spinning up all sorts of like downforce and making a
Wow,
big
that's so
mess.
neat. What a good experiment.
Yeah, I like big visual things like that.
Hmm.
More than just like a we had this owl fly in an empty room and recorded it for you. I
Those are-
always like seeing owls outside.
Yeah, I don't see them very. I mean, they're so elusive, I feel. Maybe it's also just because it's usually dark times. They're so cool. Mm.
When I see them, it's usually like they're on light posts.
Oh, interesting. Just chilling.
Yeah. Just chilling. Being surprisingly big.
Mm-hmm. You don't mess with owls.
I don't even know what an owl would do.
Just fly away.
I think so.
Or like gouge your eyes out. But
Right?
yeah.
Like they've got the big raptor claws and they have the hooked
Mm-hmm.
beak.
You're sharp.
So they could mess you up with just like grip strength alone. And I don't know, puke an owl pellet on you.
Just gross you out so much.
Yeah,
You
just
lose
be like, here's
interest.
some bones. Ah!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a strategy.
like those fish that spit at you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Owls are like fish.
I never put those two together. Can't say.
You get a big, like, swoopy heron thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet. I'm going back and forth. There'll be a lot of attempts. I didn't really have a clear idea to begin with, so it's kind of figuring it out on the page.
Mm-hmm.
Which can be an adventure.
It's almost entirely adventure. It's just kind of fun to play, though.
See what happens.
Just everyone to find out, you know?
Where will the lines take me? And will I hate it at the end? Hopefully not.
I think we are ready for our next break.
Break 2.
Break 2. Electric Boogaloo. We will be back in approximately 3 to 5 minutes. All right, everybody?
Yay.
Yay. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Draw Birds Club, where we're drawing birds. And by we, I mean me and Dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe other people are drawing birds too.
That could happen.
It could. I mean, no pressure, but maybe if the spirit moves you.
Mm-hmm. If the spirit moves you and you feel like sharing your art on the tweeters, then use hashtag can't draw horses club.
Hmm. Hmm.
I would also like to thank I know that guy for 78-month resub and Laura
Damn.
Hydreus for 28 months, who says clearly owls just spin their heads in circles all day long. True, so true. Gotta do the old 180.
Yeah, if you can do it, why would you ever stop?
Just spin it.
Hmm.
That's what the Tailspin theme song's really about.
Hmm.
Spin your head. Just gotta work on the shading on my owl.
It's beautiful.
No one can accuse me of giving this owl baby arms, which happened previously on the
Ex-
show.
what?
Yep, that's
What?
right. Someone super mean. I mean, I could give this one baby arms.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I mean,
really
you can.
have wings, so
I used to draw little owl people with little hands. Long time ago.
here's the shoulder.
They were very good.
Try to get some anatomy, but gotta keep it good and round because it's a baby. Yeah. There. Chubby baby arm.
Oh, that arm is incredible.
It's my specialty.
Oh, it's perfect. The power just elevates it.
Oh. Yeah, I'd accept advice from that owl cultist. Be cool to see side by side with the new and old baby owl arm wizard. I wonder if I still have that. I don't see it. Maybe I didn't tear that page out.
Oh no.
Oh, there it is. There's the old one.
Incredible. What a vibe.
Much improved.
Yes, you love to see it, honestly. I love looking back at old stuff and being like, I do that so much better now. It's very satisfying. Especially because it's very hard to see those kinds of developments just as you make them.
Yeah.
It requires comparison. See, sometimes you just gotta add, give a bird a hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't applaud that. It was awful.
Unforgivable.
Unforgivable.
Yeah.
What a legend. I love them.
I'm definitely coloring this in.
Yes, please. Did that giant thump come through my mic?
I heard a small thump. I didn't hear a giant thump.
That was my cat launching herself from the windowsill to go get her food.
Aw. Cats so grateful, and then woomph.
You know, she is not. She's like a little stone, like a little barrel. Not the soft stepping cat of legend.
Like cats are supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just had to make the hat sit a little lower on my owl. It was riding high.
Make sure it can't just fly off at a
Yeah.
moment's notice. Yeah.
It's gotta be snug.
Yeah. Yeah. A sack of disappointed flour is my cat. But I love her. Oh, that's a good question. I know I've posted pictures of her on my Twitter at some point. I know there's some pictures of her on Instagram too. They're around. She's just a little tubby black cat with like kind of stubby legs and a stubby tail. Yes. Okay. Well, you can see my Twitter at _Ash Mackenzie, or my Instagram is Ash Mackenzie Illustration.
Ooh.
MACK. That is true. I should get her. I don't want to turn my cat into content. That's the only problem. But
Ain't got time for that.
no, she is very cute. So
Oh.
on the flip side, it's like, shouldn't I be sharing this with the world? It's the forever dilemma of social media.
Time to break out the pencil crayons.
Aw, yeah. That's like old school too.
Yeah.
That's like elementary school supplies. Oh my god. What every year it was just a joy to open the pencil crayons.
Purple.
And a very underrated coloring medium, I think.
I agree. go in light to get coverage, basically, so that I can
Hmm.
probably finish in time for end of stream.
Yeah, yeah. Closing in. Oh my
Yep.
goodness, time flies.
It does.
I guess if there's anything anyone's curious about,
Other than
I'm
cats.
happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability about pictures or birds or I don't know what else I know about.
Did I already ask you if you have a favorite bird?
Oh no. It's so hard to choose. I really like wrens.
Wrens.
Yeah, they're really cute. They're so round and they got those little tails that just stick straight up. Oh my
Uh-huh.
god. I used to, when I was little, it was definitely like the peregrine falcon because I just thought it was so cool that they could go so fast.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it changes. There's too many good ones. That's the problem. I don't wanna count any out. They're all very good. Oh yeah, that bird of paradise that it's the one that turns into like a black void with just the eyes and the blue. Oh my god.
That's an
I,
umbrella bird,
l-
isn't it?
I maybe I thought the umbrella bird looked more like an actual umbrella
Well, when
because
they
I
do
know there
the
is one that does an umbrella dance
yeah.
and it's like weird, like a little ballerina. It's really fun. But
They
it could be
do
the
like a
umbrella
little
bird.
delicate steppy.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, there's so many good ones. But when I first saw that, the black one, I just lost my mind. I have never laughed so hard. Oh, cockapos are really good. I also really liked cockapos. I don't know what wingspan is. What's wingspan?
It is a board game where you, I guess, collect birds and breed them and such.
Oh my goodness. Oh, like Flight Rising and stuff like that, like
I
the
don't
old
know
school
Flight
like
Rising.
online. It's like a dragon one
Yeah, this is just like
or like
uh,
Neopets basically, but dragons.
mm,
I guess Neopets didn't have that much actual pet breeding involved in it now that I think about it.
no. Uh,
I'm trying to
I
think of
think if
there were
there's
ones,
like an
but I can't
equivalent
remember other
game.
popular ones.
Yeah, anyways, Wingspan has a digital version, and when you click on the birds, they make the bird noise.
Oh, that's a good touch.
Yeah.
Someone make that game and just fund all of my life making art for that. That's my dream. No more complicated concepts and compositions, just birds.
Because if there's
Sweet peace.
anything easier than working in art, it's video games.
Well, I mean, at least it generally pays a little bit. The working conditions are just as bad, but at least they pay generally a little bit
Generally
more.
they pay.
Yeah. They pay for the soul crushing. It's just whether or not you feel it's worth your body. Yes, sometimes they pay in lawsuits.
Yay.
Hopefully, it doesn't come to that.
Oops, sorry. Hit my mic. Trying to pick out a flesh color for the baby arm bit, and my brain's like, well, an owl wouldn't have a tan.
No, probably not. They're like vampire kind of.
Owls are like vampires.
Yeah.
Sorry, kind of just holding my breath.
Sometimes you gotta like get into the deep zone, and also the steady hands are a struggle. It's like I don't know. You can do some breathing exercises before you get into like delicate, precise lines.
Yeah. think that's it, basically.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I like that you broke out the ink just for some extra definition.
Also, I wanted to practice ink because,
Mhm.
you know. I have it, so.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of inking. I find inking digitally just incredibly frustrating though, so I don't do it anymore. I like working on paper though.
You just sit there and like jam undo. Make a line,
It's
jam
just
undo.
it never works the same as on paper. Like it doesn't grip the same, so I can't get the same line quality, and I find it just awful. Awful.
I always
So I
feel
don't do
like
it.
double uncoordinated when I'm using
Mhm.
tablet.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Barred owl.
So powerful. Oh my god, those arms. I love them. We should have given all of them arms. I didn't know.
I think if I ever do get like a pet bird, I'm going to get the little attachment arms that you can get. Little
Oh my
bodybuilder arms.
god. That
Yeah.
would be amazing.
A little beefy parrot.
Yeah, when I was little, I had a parrotlet, which is like the smallest parrot. And I'm just picturing them with a tiny set of super muscle arms, and it is bringing me much joy.
Yeah, parrotlets on the list.
So good.
The Pacific parrotlet specifically.
Mm.
Like a blue one.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a nice blue, nice soft blue.
All right, I think I'm just gonna pull up the rest of the streaming schedule for the week coming up on Lure, the website. That'll tell me everything. Boom, schedule.
Amazing.
So yeah, tomorrow 9 o'clock. Talking Simulator. We're still doing Deathloop, except Cameron's gonna be driving. I don't know what Let's Know is. Tormented Souls. Uh, then on Wednesday, it looks like there's a bonus stream. James is playing New World, which I have no information about. Yeah, sorry. Uh, Thursday, Lure MTG. Tinker Tailor. Oh, what's Ian working on? Ian's gonna do. Oh, my guess is Gunpla. Leather
Ooh.
bag repair. Ah, I guessed wrong. Friday's checkpoint, then paper fight where they are playing Highlander. And then on Saturday, we're starting a new Play It Forward with Surge playing Runner. Ghost Runner.
Oh, Ghost Runner's cool.
Yeah. That is everything. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you especially to Ash for joining me. And
Well, thank you for inviting me. I had such a good time. I hope you all are more inspired to do a bird drawing
bird.
sometimes. Yeah.
pick a bird, give it baby arms.
Yeah.
That's your homework for the week.
Oh boy, what have we done?
I'd also like to thank you all for supporting here on Twitch, and shout out to the YouTubes where the VODs will go up, and also our Patreon. LoadingReadyRun.com is our main website. You can find the schedule that I just showed at loadingreadyrun.com/live. Patreon's an option for us and for Ash.
True. Support all the people making things. It's nice. You know, we work hard and we
like the
don't get
money.
paid much.
Yeah. So that'll do it for today. Can't Try Horses Club. I will see you all again in a week. Bye.
Bye.